Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Thursday, the 20th of February 2020, and the time is 11:01 here in the UK. You're looking at I'm going to switch up to a USDCAD daily chart. So, in today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups across all the pairs listed to the right here. We're also going to be discussing some setups from last week and earlier this week. A lot has happened, so there's a lot to go over. So yeah, let's just dive right into it, guys. First of all, the USD-CAD setup I shared last week. This one's been quite annoying because of the back and forth. It's taken a long time to move down, and every time it moves down, it comes back. So it moved down, came back up, moved down, came back up, moved down again, and it's coming back up. Honestly, I'm not really liking this trade that much anymore. My stop loss was moved to break even, and it's really struggling to break this 200 moving average. That's one thing we're seeing. So yesterday I commented on the forum that if it manages to get through this 200, then it'll probably go down, but it in the end did not manage to get through it. And then it started its climb back up. Switch down to the 1 hour chart to see what this climb looked like rather. And you can see that like from around about a few hours after market close yesterday, which was here, it dropped down just a little bit more, and then it just started its climb back up, and it's been making higher highs and higher lows ever since. Is anyone still holding on to this one? Just going to take a quick look at the forum. No, the last response was my response, so there's been no updates from anybody since. So I imagine most of you are holding on, otherwise you would have said on the forum that you've closed out. Yeah, it's not really doing what we want it to do. It got stuck on this 200 moving average. Look, regardless, I'm just going to hold on to it because at this point my stop loss is at break even. Worst case scenario, I don't really lose out on this trade. Best case scenario, it keeps going down again. But yeah, I'm just not convinced it's going to anymore. This latest pullback has been pretty significant, and I think there's a good chance it's going to push up to the entry. I'm just not going to exit early because, well, you know how it is. You have rules in your trading strategy, and you should follow those rules. Now, just because I have a bit of a gut feeling that it's going to continue up and hit my stop loss, it doesn't mean that I should just get out, because there's so many occasions where price will pull back like this, get close to your stop, and then go down and hit your target. And I'm going to hold on to the trade, but I'm not holding out much hope for this one, to be honest. New Zealand JPY, this is another trade I shared, I believe, in Monday's analysis. Was it? Yeah, probably. So Monday was, sorry, in Tuesdays I meant to say, not Mondays. We don't do a Monday analysis. Obviously it was Tuesdays. So Tuesday was the 18th. Yeah, it came down to here on the 18th. Or maybe was it yesterday's? I don't know. No, it would have been Tuesdays, because it was down here at Tuesday before the analysis. So yeah, in Tuesday's analysis, I shared this setup. This one's ended up, I don't know why this is so low. It's better there. This one's ended up working out quite well. I know a few of you got in this one, so good job on that. It's approaching the top of the range now, so there is potential for a short here from the top of the range. So this trade's closed out profitably. I'm going to mark it as orange again. Orange means there's a potential upcoming trade. So we want it to hit the top, stall out, and go back down. So basically what we have here is a range. it's jumping up and down pretty neatly between the range. The setup I shared on Tuesday was a long from the bottom of the range. So today we're looking for a short from the top of the range. We just want price to push up, hit the top of the range, give us a kind of similar looking setup to what we saw over here, and then turn around and go down. So we're looking to short the top of that range. Pretty straightforward stuff. AUDUSD, in yesterday's analysis, I talked about a potential long from here if it stalled out, but it did not stall out, clearly, so there was no trade there. This one's broken down finally. Now, it's a bit of a shame because I think also in Tuesday's analysis, I was also talking about a potential long or a short from here. I said that I'd go short if it broke and closed below this support area. Now, it looks like it might do that today. Obviously, it's broken below it. It looks like it might close below it. Now, if it closes below it, I'll definitely be looking for a short. The problem is, it's hard to get good support resistance because we have to go all the way back to 2009. And the market was moving very differently in 2009. There was a lot more volatility. So placing support resistance based on data from 2009 is really quite tough. Now, I'm going to place this one because we do have some bounces from there, but it's a very rough support area. And overall, I don't really have that much faith in it, to be completely honest. It's a 10-year-old support area, and it's not really that well defined. So I'm going to place it because it's all we have. But what I really want to see is price reacting at this support area before I consider this an actual good support area. But you'd be surprised by how well old support resistance areas work. We were actually having a discussion on the forum about this potential EURUSD setup here that we're looking at. Now, this isn't as old, but this area hasn't been hit since 2017. But we placed it based on data from 2017. See this bounce here, that there. And some older bounces over here in 2016. We placed it based on that data, and what do you know, when price hits it here, it stalls out, and it looks like it could potentially turn around here. Now, I know that's 2017 versus 2009. It's a big difference in terms of years, but the point is, old support resistance does tend to hold pretty well. So this is a valid support area, but it's valid but untested recently, so I'd rather wait for it to be tested before I take trades from it. Regardless, price has, well, not regardless, but just let's talk about something else with AUDUSD and stop talking about the support area. Price has broken and closed below the 66668 support area. I misspoke there. It hasn't closed below, but it might close below. So we'll know if it closes below at the close of this daily candle here. This daily candle is closing in about 9 hours and 50 minutes. So in 9 hours, 50 minutes, we'll have... Wait, am I doing that math right? No, 10 hours and 50 minutes. In 10 hours and 50 minutes, we'll have an idea of if we want to enter a trade here. Now, entering a trade here would be quite tricky. Ideally, it would have been a lot better if this hadn't pushed down this far, because getting a stop loss here, getting a safe stop loss, means we want to have our stop loss above this resistance area. So that's going to be a pretty tough one. With any luck, it will retrace a bit before it closes. Not too much, but retraces a bit. That way we can grab an entry around up here. Look, this one's going to be a tough one to trade. Definitely worth keeping an eye on because AUDUSD is trending down heavily, and I do want to try and get in on this downtrend here. New Zealand USD, similar situation. We were looking for a short on a break and close below this green line. Now it's already broken and closed in a big way, too much, so no longer looking for a short. The short's over, essentially. The question is, what happens when New Zealand USD hits this support area? It's hitting it right now. So what's going to happen now? Is it going to break straight through it and close below it, or is it going to stall out? Now, if you remember back to Tuesday's analysis, that was what we were thinking with AUDUSD. Is it going to break below, or is it going to stall out? So there's two potential tradable scenarios here. Number one is that it stalls out on the support area and we get a long setup like it did over here. Number two is that it breaks through, closes below, and then we get a short setup. So what we're going to do is we're just going to continue watching New Zealand USD. I want to get an idea of what's going to happen at this support area. In all likelihood, this isn't going to be a tradable setup until Monday at least, maybe even Tuesday next week. So it is on support, but this is very much a wait and watch type scenario here. The only way you could enter this before Monday would be if you were to drop down to the 12-hour or the 8-hour and look for price to stall out on the support area here, but that would be quite risky in my opinion. CAD CHF, this one's just off the table. We were looking at a potential setup, but it didn't really turn into anything we would want to trade. Euro USD, this one's quite interesting. I was looking for a potential long here yesterday. Before the candle closed, it was around about something like this. But then I obviously didn't enter. I was just looking for a potential here. But then the candle started shooting up just a short time before it closed. You can see a short time before it closed, around about an hour, it made a new high. So I didn't end up placing that entry order. And I'm still looking to go long. But now I've expanded my entry and my stop a little bit. Based on the moves since this candle closed, essentially. So still looking to go long here. Yeah, it's a good potential setup. Unfortunately, it just spiked up before the candle closed. This candle spiked up before it closed, and that means that we just don't have as good an entry and stop loss. Sucks, but it happens. So I'm still looking for a long setup here. USDCHF. Watching this one since yesterday, it looks quite good. I'm just still looking for a short here, essentially. I didn't enter it yesterday, but definitely still looking for a short. You want to have a nice wide stop loss on this one. You don't want to base the stop loss on this indecision candle. You want to get your stop loss nice and wide on this setup here. Give it a bit more breathing room. Now, if you get a stop loss above the 200 moving average, that's even better. So yeah, just keeping an eye on USDCHF for a potential short here. Could enter this one today, definitely. This current candle, if this starts dropping down, we could enter this one today. No, Paul, I don't use Fibonacci. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Fibonacci, I just personally don't use it. Alright, AUDCAD needs a new support area, at least one, but we have to go all the way back to 2009, which, like I've already discussed, is not fantastic, because the market was moving very differently in 2009. Yeah. So this is just not a great support area, but we're going to have to place it based on these two bounces here, and then just monitor things as it gets down to these areas. We'll see if they are in fact still valid. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything there. Curious to see what EURUSD does when it hits this resistance area, if there's potential for a short there, but it's still pretty far from the resistance area. So it probably won't happen until Monday, but we're going to keep an eye on it anyway, because it is moving quickly up to it. So what I'm looking for here is just, if price hits that resistance area, there's definitely potential for a short there. EURUSDJPY is pretty interesting. It's made a fast move up to resistance. Yeah, but nah, don't like it. Moves too fast. I don't want to counter that fast move. And the resistance area just isn't too great either. Alright, this is somewhat interesting. We got GBPJPY stalling out on resistance. Potential for a short from this resistance area. Now, we were looking at a GBPJPY range earlier. I think it was last week and at the start of this week. And the range was here between these two levels. But there is also a wider range in play. Sometimes there's ranges within ranges. There is a wider range here, and you could see the wider range on the daily chart. It's not a particularly clean range, but it is a range. You can see price stuck between these two support resistance areas. So price is now at the top of that range. We're getting some indecision. We're getting signs that price might stall out here, and then we could get a turnaround. So there's definitely potential there. New Zealand CHF is a bit of a weird pair. I think most of you don't trade it. I honestly don't really trade it that much. I can't remember if I've ever taken a New Zealand CHF trade. I probably have, but you know, if I have, it's under 5 in the last 10 years. So it's not a common pair I trade, but yeah, there is potential if price stalls out of this support area. If it's a big if, it's moving quite fast on its way down. It might not stall out, but yeah, keep an eye on it. Why not? Can't hurt to keep an eye on it. USDJPY just shot up like crazy yesterday. It is sitting on resistance right now. I'll place this resistance area based on these bounces here. Also get some bounces through there. Yeah, it's got a bit of data. It's a valid resistance area. Shot up like crazy, and now it's stopping on that resistance area. Now, is this stopping, or is this just going to smash straight through? To answer that question, I usually drop down to the hourly just to see what's happening. Right now on the hourly, all signs to point to it's going to just smash straight through. We're seeing in the current hourly candle, but it's only 20 minutes old, that it seems to be stalling out. But like I said, it's only 20 minutes old. By the end of this candle, it could very well just push straight through. So it is at resistance. We are seeing signs on the hourly that it's stalling out. But, you know, it was stalling out here for a while before continuing up. It was stalling out here for 2 candles before continuing up. So this doesn't really tell us much. Let's keep an eye on USDJPY. Let's see if it actually stops here. But, you know, it's still very early days. Don't get excited about this at all. USDSEK, this is another pair that a lot of you guys don't trade, but this is actually a really good pair to trade. It's stalling out on resistance, so there's potential for a short here, but let's see how this one plays out. It's still early days with this one. The daily candle has only just touched resistance. it might not stop here. This one's definitely a wait and see type thing. Nothing really on gold and silver. Take a quick look at some other stuff. Alright, this one never went down, so that was never set up. DXY, we're looking to see if it stalled here, but it continued up. And nothing really going on these. So, wow. Busy day. Really busy day. So we got New Zealand JPY. Oh, we didn't look at the calendar, guys. Sorry, I forgot to look at the news. So what do we have coming up today? We have monetary policy meeting accounts out of the EU in an hour and 7 minutes. That's an important one, guys. That could definitely move the market. Do watch out for that. And tomorrow is not that much. There's just a bunch of PMI reports from Europe. Yeah, there's not that much. I'm not too worried about tomorrow. None of this stuff that's happening tomorrow would concern me that much unless I'm trading something below the 8-hour time frame. Core retail sales, yeah. Nor will this. I'm not too worried about any of that. But this one here, ECB monetary policy meeting accounts, that's definitely got potential to move the market. Do watch out for that one. That one could be a big market mover, and it could cause euro to spike, possibly even the pound. So yeah, let's do a quick summary. Give me a sec. I'm gonna check the forum real quick. Do you know what caused the yen momentum? I'm not sure if you know this, Bridget. I'll just show you a little trick that may help you answer this question yourself. Because it's always nice to be able to get answers to these kinds of questions yourself. Now, I don't know necessarily if it's going to work here. But if you go to the, I should have explained how to do this. If you go to market on Forex Factory, you type in the pair you want. So in this case, USDJPY, and you click like the 4-hour time frame or whatever time frame you want. You can use this to zoom in and out. And what we're going to do is zoom in to around about when this spike started. Oops. And we can see if there was a report related to JPY that may have caused this. So you just click all these reports and you just check. So this was consumer price inflation UK. So that was just a coincidence. That's not related. That's the Canadian consumer price index. Again, unrelated. Maybe it was Trump's tweets that did it. And that's a German report. So look, in this case, we don't really get a clear answer to the question. It could have been Trump's tweets. Yeah, it could have been Trump's tweets, but it might also not have been. No, because Trump's tweets were a good 12 hours before. No, it was probably, yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what caused it. So yeah, in this case, that didn't really help. But in a lot of scenarios, when you want to know what's caused a move, you can jump over to this tool and you can pinpoint the time the move started, and you'll see you'll potentially see something that caused the move. But yeah, in this case, it doesn't help. I don't really know why it moved. But yeah, guys, I think that is it for the analysis, unless there's any questions. I'll just do a quick summary while people ask questions, if there are any. So New Zealand JPY, we're just looking for a short from the top of this resistance area. AUDUSD is broken below support, so we're just waiting for a close here. And then we're looking for a short continuation trade. New Zealand USD is hitting a support area right now. We're waiting to see if it stalls out on this support area for a potential bullish reversal, or if it closes below the support area, then that would indicate a potential continuation. So basically, we want to see if support holds. That's what we want to see. Euro USD, looking for a potential long here. This is my rough entry, 1.0817. This is my rough stop loss, 1.0777. And my target is roughly around about 10895. Euro GBP, we're waiting for it to hit the top of the resistance area for potential short. USDCHF, my rough entry is 98.20, stop loss is 98.65, and target is 97.33. GBPJPY, we're just waiting for it to stall at this resistance area for a potential short. New Zealand CHF, waiting for it to stall. USDJPY, waiting for it to stall at resistance. And USDSEK, also waiting for it to stall at resistance. So yeah, that is it, guys. It looks like there's no questions. Feel free to ask me also, Bridget. Wait, I'm saying Bridget, but your name's spelled Bridget? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. Just to make it clear, I wasn't saying you shouldn't ask me and you should just get the answer yourself. I was just showing you a tool that will allow you to get the answer yourself. But feel free to ask me anytime. I'm happy to look into it for you and see if I can help. Bridget? Is that right? Am I pronouncing it right? I've been saying Bridget for days, for weeks. It's kind of embarrassing. Slowing growth in Japan. Where are you seeing that? See you later, Olu. Alright, I'm not sure if Berget's still here. I know she is. Oh, it is? Okay. Well, then I'll just say Bridget. Or wait, is it fine? I'll just ask you via email. I think that's better. Because there's a bit of a delay in this YouTube thingy. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap up this analysis. Thank you guys for attending. There's a lot to look at today. And going into next week, there's been some successful trades, which is nice. We still have USDCAD open. CHF-JPY, and this one is actually a potential short from resistance. So yeah, guys, thank you for attending, and I'll see you guys on the forum, and for all you non-members, I'll see you next week on Tuesday for the webinar. Thank you and bye.